opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group, LLC. Eric Wilner, president of Capital One Group, LLC, is a highly trained financial professional. He helps clients to develop strategies for effectively utilizing real estate, mortgages, and related financial products to achieve a more secure financial future. For the real estate investor or the home buyer, he's able to provide expertise in matching the right properties and financing with your specific financial objectives. This show is dedicated to helping you find the safe and simple approach to buying income-producing real estate. If you have any questions about the program or to arrange a consultation, call toll-free 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Now, today's edition of The Real Estate Show.
And hello, South Florida. Welcome to all of our listeners here on the AM 740 listening area, as well as all of our listeners on the new FM 96.9 FM listening area. And, of course, a very good day to the rest of our listeners all over the world who listen to us live over the Internet. Now, you can hear us live over the Internet on our website at www.automaticlandlord.com. That's automaticlandlord.com. And you can also take us with you on your portable devices and your smartphones simply by downloading the WSBR app on the air. So you can take us with you and listen to us on the go. And, of course, as you know, we're here Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, right here from 8 o'clock in the morning until 8:30. And we always bring you new topics, interesting ideas, and from time to time we bring in a special guest. And today I did just that. We brought in a special guest, and he must be a very special guest because the studio here brought out wine glasses. We've got water. We've got the studio all set up real nice. So you must be a very special guest, must be a VIP. I want to welcome my guest, Sergei Zelinsky, who's vice president and partner of a very interesting company called Glassarium. Good morning, Sergei.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're glad that you could make it down here to the studio. So first of all, for our listeners, tell them exactly what is Glassarium.
Well, Glassarium is a one-of-a-kind company located in Miami, Florida. We're a very innovative firm specializing in glass design. We are sort of a unique glass solutions provider. Basically, anything that has to do with something with a non-traditional type of glass. So anything that's not just your ordinary transparent glass, that's where we come in. Our specialty is subsurface laser engraving. Sounds complicated, but what that really is basically, it is very high tech, believe it or not. It's, if I could say, glass etching on steroids. It's a German technology that we imported about a year and a half ago, and it allows a user to basically engrave any design, image, logo, texture, quote, whatever that may be, inside a glass material, but without altering its outer surfaces, meaning that it's engraved with an interior of the glass, and you cannot touch it, feel it, you can only see it, and then it's there forever because it's inside. It doesn't fade off. It doesn't peel out. It doesn't go away. And it will be there for decades or centuries to come unless the glass is physically broken.
Interesting. So, I'm probably going to ask you some questions about that, and I don't want to get too technical about it, but it's very interesting. So on the outside, it feels as smooth as anything. So
exactly.
Now, can this be used indoors and outdoors?
Yes. Everything that we do, we try to do into a high-impact glass as a final application, and that will be safely installed in interior or exterior applications.
So what is the most common request that you get? Because I imagine you have some pretty different ones too.
It's a great question, and as the time goes, we still have not narrowed down to say that this particular application is our most popular. One day we have a housewife from Indiana calling, and she wants to make her glass address sign next to her front door light up with certain etchings around it, and next day you have someone who wants a corporate office in Chicago, and so yes, we'll ship it out there or send an installer and they will make it there. and next day you have a corporate logo, next day you have a tabletop, next day you have a waterless aquarium that they want on a yacht. So we still have not gone to that.
Did you say a waterless aquarium?
That is correct. Yes, we do waterless
aquarium. Isn't that a
aquarium.
little bit of a contradiction, a waterless aquarium?
Well, everybody wants to have aquarium, but nobody wants to have a tragedy of fish dying.
Right.
Yes, and then the expense of maintaining the fish in the aquarium. So it adds up to a lot of a lot of tragedy. So, and of course a monetary expense. So yeah, virtual aquariums are very popular down in South Florida.
That's very interesting. You see, the reason why I love having guests like you, and you and I met at the Miami Home Design and Remodeling Show, which is a great forum for finding out new products and meeting new people. So the neat thing about that is that you and I got a chance to meet very briefly. I thought that what you do was very interesting, and I'm finding out that it's even more interesting than I thought. So these designs that you do in the glass, are they just like different shades of the glass, or is it all colors? Can you put colors in?
Yes and no. The engraving does it in a black and white, if I can say so. So it's if I could tell you, imagine a crack inside the glass, but made into a beautiful shape or design. So that's how it kind of looks without actual crack. It just does it with a laser. So the color is one-tone color, but when you start adding different lighting options, which is very popular now, especially here in South Florida, people love playing with LEDs and different spotlights and different kind of lighting things, then that's when you can really come up and you can have multiple lights or fading or changing or blinking and things like that. So there's a lot of color options now too, besides the back painted glass, colored mirrors. Now all that comes into the game.
And so I imagine you have to get very good at playing with lights from the front, lights from the back.
Correct. And every application is different. Every location is different because of the sunlight, because of the daylight, because of the shadows and things like that. Then you just have to go, place by place and see how it looks in that particular
So do you
situation.
have like a design background? How did you get into this?
I've done all kinds of different design and very creative into the world of Photoshop and video editing. I've done a lot of video work before, and that kind of slowly transitioned me into more of a still photography and designs. And I, as a stock videographer, slowly transitioned into selling the footage, into buying stock photography and designs and incorporating that into our work, and using even street artists and different designers and trying to put their work into the glass world to kind of capture that,
So you definitely have an eye for art.
I guess so, yes. Yeah.
So it sounds like all of that I see sort of a common thread, a common string, that you have a very good eye for art, design.
I have, and I've had a couple of good mentors. My old roommate here in Miami, he ran his own Chicago design firm for 36 years. So I had a very good mentor that, gave us a lot of good advices and a lot of do's and don'ts in the world of design, where we can now tell your own clients, like, the bigger does not mean better, just.
So for some of our listeners who are listening to us right now, and pretty soon some of our listeners who are watching this, because this is also being videoed, if they want to take a look at a sample of some of your work, do you have a website where people can see?
Of course, Glassarium is located at www.glassarium.com.
So spell that just to make sure.
Glassarium would be spelled as a glass, Glass, and then Arium, Arium. Glassarium.com.
So if you want to check out some of the things that what we're talking about, if you're having a hard time imagining, you should see some of the work that he does. It's absolutely beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, hear a few words from our sponsors. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. I'm here with one of the partners and the vice president of Glassarium, very interesting design firm. If you're thinking about remodeling a home or adding some real interesting personal touches to your home or your corporation, this is something you want to check out. We're going to talk more about it right after these words from our sponsors. I said, damn, this traffic jam.
Well, there you are, sitting in traffic like thousands of other motorists listening to Eric Wilner's Real Estate Show. Here's a thought. If you're listening, so are potential customers and clients. Radio advertising works. So become an advertiser or sponsor guest on Eric's show. Get your message heard. Call 1-888-595-7779. That's 1-888-595-7779. Your customers and clients are waiting to hear from you. Said, damn, there's traffic jam. Call 1-888-595-7779.
Today's real estate market is full of questions. Eric Wilner and Capital One Group LLC have the answers. Call today for a no-obligation consultation and get the facts. 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. You'll learn the safe and simple approach to buying income-producing real estate. And you'll find out how to get the right real estate investments for your specific investment objectives. Plus, you'll have immediate access to cutting-edge mortgage and financing products. Be sure to ask about free property management on select investment properties. Call today for your no-obligation consultation and get the facts. 888-595-7779. Toll free, 888-595-7779.
Are you paying for a home that is losing value every month? Do you owe $400,000 and your home is worth only $300,000 and still dropping? Do you want to know more about what the government is doing to help you? You have options. Don't just give up or walk away. Know your rights. Fight back. Fistel Law Firm can help you. Call for a free consultation today. 954-522-1212. 954-522-1212. Or on the web, fistel.com.
Hello, listeners. This is Eric Wilner, your host of The Real Estate Show. Exciting news. We now have a Facebook page. Now, this is an opportunity for us to share with you photos and videos and interviews and lots more information on a regular basis on our Facebook page. But to make it really exciting, we want your input. We want your comments, and most of all, we want your likes. And that will make us a much better radio show, and our Facebook page will be a real resource for you. So check us out at facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. That's facebook.com/The Real Estate Show. And give us a thumbs up.
This is The Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group LLC in Boca Raton, with your host, Eric Wilner. If you have any questions about the broadcast, call toll-free, 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. Now, back to today's show.
And welcome back. For those of you who might just be joining us, you are listening to The Real Estate Show, South Florida's #1 program and America's longest-running daily radio show, all about real estate. And we talk about all things real estate, whether it be the properties themselves, the mortgage, the financing, the issues that are going on with the properties. And then from time to time, we also talk about the add-ons, the accessories, the things that we do to make our properties look better, to make our properties perform better. And one of the interesting people that I met at one of the recent home remodeling design shows was Sergei Zelinsky, and he has a product, a company called Glassarium, and they do all sorts of very creative things with glass. And so what I wanted to do is bring him into the studio today. We've been talking about a little bit the process and some of the different ideas. Tell me a little bit about who are your primary customers, or what is your ideal customer, for example?
Yeah, good question, Eric. We deal with all sorts of customers. We cannot determine which one is our primarily because we work just as much with residential customers as well as commercial. Mm-hmm. We work with street artists. We work with different small business owners because now it's the time where there's so many designers out there that people sometimes cannot choose who they want or they cannot afford, and a lot of times people want to be their own designers. They want to come up with something that, their guests come into their house and go, wow, where'd you get that? And they go, I designed it. People love that.
Well, this is a very personal thing.
Right. And, they can have a 10-foot piece of glass with their, passed away pet on it that looks amazing, exposed with LED light. And people go, oh, my God, this looks like a spirit in there. Yeah, or it's just a beautiful railing out there, or it's a corporate sign, or just a small business owner created, storefront even that he designed with his favorite flowers or text or whatever that may be. So we see that everyone wants to be their own designer. We have general contractors that come in because their architect or designer drew something out of this world, and now they go, oh boy, where am I going to get this done? So we have
how am I going to incorporate it in the house or the space?
Right. Or this Miami Home Design Show exposed us to a few smaller scale architects. They like this product, so next time they are designing something, they keep that in mind and try to incorporate that with their work, because now they know that is an option, where before you cannot come up with something you don't know. Mm-hmm. So now that you know that you have these options to be this kind of a designer and come up with different new ideas that no one else has done, such as, like we spoke, virtual aquariums, where it's, the real ocean atmosphere within the glass.
What's the most unusual project that you were asked to do?
I don't even know what is unusual. Unusual to me was when, delivered us a 12 by 5 foot piece of glass. And, I'm not really into this business as a glass guy. I'm here more of a designer and the guy that does the digital part of it and the,
right.
The arts part of it. Then the most unusual part was carrying a piece of glass and saying, I'm never going to do this again. And then we shipped it, and the local installer that they had in Chicago that they decided to use, they broke it.
Oh,
so
no.
Then when I said never again, we had to do exactly the thing all over again. So yeah, that was unusual, but nothing is unusual, I think you cannot surprise.
So is that the biggest piece that you've done so far?
We have done that as the biggest single piece, but also for the same client, we did a corporate office, and that contained 10 pieces of glass with continuous one design throughout all 10 pieces. So if you combine those, it's a 30-foot, stretch of one continuous design. But this was the biggest single piece we did, and yeah, it's about 600 pounds.
So what's the smallest?
The smallest we just did a belt buckle that the guy designed, but he ordered quite a few pieces of those, and that's a LED lit belt buckle. Yes.
I was going to say, a glass belt buckle.
Yes. People, like I said, people design like all kinds of things nowadays. You cannot surprise anyone with anything.
So if someone were to design to order something, what's the process from order to design?
Basically, people reach out to us and they just talk to us. We're not like a corporate firm. You're not talking to robots here. You're talking to real people. Mm-hmm. We'll hear people out. We want to know what their final, what their desired, outcome is going to be, right? And we're good listeners, and we, because at first they think that it's something out of this world, and then we tell them, no, it's okay. This is the first time we hear something like that, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to accomplish it. And so we hear them out. We do some sketches. We do the sizing, and we do some Photoshop work. We send the client back and forth. We give them a small sample of glass so they can see or visualize what it can be at the end. And then once they commit, then we order the glass in that size, and we engrave. We send it back for the high-impact lamination to make sure that it's a high-impact. And even if it's a person ordering from Indiana or it's a person here in Miami-Dade or Broward County, it will pass their codes and inspections, because those became very strict and in recent years, and that's a good thing. We want to play safe with glass.
And is that because it goes outside or because it's
both?
Indoor as well?
Yes, and even indoor codes has changed dramatically now here, and especially in South Florida. You'll see the new developments growing, and they have very strict building codes. And the glass, it can be very strong and very fragile material, and we want to make sure that this thing stays here forever. So everything we do is a hurricane code.
So if I called you today to order something, how long would it take for me to get it?
Realistically, I would tell you would get it within 10 to 20 business days. Not to exaggerate. It would be great to give you a little bit faster. That's a great surprise for you. If your glass is ready within 6 business days, not 10. But we don't like to exaggerate, and we just say the way things are. I would say 10 to 20 business days.
Very interesting. How did you get started in this? I mean, how did glass all of a sudden? You're a design guy. You're doing all these other things with artwork. and now all of a sudden glass?
You know, if you would tell me that I will be in this business even, a few years ago, I would laugh and say, no way. But, I have done a lot of different jobs, and I still do. I'm still involved in a couple other ventures and hobbies and things like that. But my business partner, Anton, he got wandered into world of manufacturing, and it was sort of misunderstanding. But he ended up visiting Germany and visiting this particular factory that produces these sort of lasers. It's a very high tech place, like one of a kind in the world. And he just had this crazy idea, like, hey, I just want to basically bring this technology to the United States, no matter what it takes. And,
so you were the first one to bring this technology to the
Yes,
US.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're the only company that does this.
Do you have this exclusive license?
No, but exclusive license is basically the ability to import this kind of manufacturing equipment. You have to go through a lot of hoops to get it in, FDA and approvals, because, it's a laser, it's sensitive material. Then it takes about 6 months, the learning process, to just learn how to do it. And when you purchase such equipment, they actually send an engineer here who teaches us and assembles everything. So it's a very, very high-tech, equipment, and I don't even really think anyone can really pull it off. And if they will, then then it will take them quite a few years to get it done.
So, is there any questions I didn't ask that I should have asked from you to get people to really understand and get a better picture of what Glassarium does?
Well, Glassarium is basically the guys that will get you whatever glass you need that is not your regular old school glass. If there's something that you want to design with, or that is just not your old school boring glass, that's when we come in. If it's not our specialty and it's not something that we do here in house, we'll definitely find it for you and get it done. So we do any specific, like, custom glass design in architectural glass world.
So one more time for people who want to get a visual on what you're doing. Give us your website again.
Okay, our website is glassarium.com, Glassarium, 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 or the Spanish people say Glassarium.
And then for someone who just wants to reach out and maybe talk to you, get some ideas, or see if what they're thinking about is possible, what's your phone number?
Our phone number is 786-631-7080, or
slower, one more time.
786-631-7080.
Excellent. So that about wraps up what we have in terms of time. But I just wanted to share with people, it's a very cool process, and I thought it was interesting enough to bring on the air to share with you. And again, you can check it out at Glassarium, as if it was an aquarium, but Glassarium.com. And I really appreciate you. I know you came all the way up from Miami to be on the radio show this early in the morning, and your partner came with you also there. We want to make sure that everyone out there has a chance to see what you do as well. Now, are you going to be at the Fort Lauderdale Home Show as well?
Yes, we'll be exhibiting there as well. Yes,
okay, correct. Good. So we'll see each other at least then again at the Fort Lauderdale Home Show, which is coming up at the end of May, so it's not that far off. So for our listeners in the Palm Beach County area or in the Broward County area that didn't make it down to the Miami Design Home Show, make sure you mark your calendars near the Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. About 50 to 70,000 people will come through that show alone, which is one of the reasons why we set up our booth down there. We broadcast from down there, and then exhibitors like yourself come down there, and it's an opportunity for people to see literally under one roof so many different ideas and so many different products and services, and you get to meet the designers and the main people themselves. So once again, Sergei, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Very much enjoyed the show. Hope our listeners got a lot about it as well. Once again, the phone number to reach you?
Our phone number is 786-631-7080.
And, of course, if you have any other questions about the show or anything else, you can always give us a call at 888-595-7779. That's 888 888-595-7779. Sergei, thanks for coming along, and thanks for bringing a little bit of Europe here. We got wine glasses, even though we are drinking water, but
That's how we do it.
Gave us a nice look this morning, so thank you. Cheers. Till tomorrow, drive safe and make it a great day.
Thanks for listening to The Real Estate Show, brought to you by Capital One Group LLC in Boca Raton. Eric Wilner and Capital One Group LLC are available to assist you with your financial needs. If you have any questions about today's program or to arrange a consultation, call toll-free at 888-595-7779. That's 888-595-7779. And join us every day at the same time right here on AM 740 WSBR, South Florida's Money Talk Radio. The opinions expressed on this sponsored program are strictly those of its host, guests, and callers and are not necessarily